Jason Statham is back with a vengeance, literally. Welcome back everyone to a new movie review, and in this one we're going through Wrath of Man, and this movie lives up to its name because all of what we see there is wrath. So it's the newest movie directed by Guy Ritchie, whom I've seen quite a number of movies for, and all of them were amazing. I mean, the ones that I've seen so far, and he had like a variety of genres that he directed, and all of them were really good in terms of the storyline, the characters, the cinematography, the soundtracks, and everything. Most of the aspects in them were really splendid, and some of the ones that I've seen for him were Sherlock Holmes, the two parts, Snatch, Aladdin, Rock and Roller, and Revolver. But this, I think, is the most serious of all of them, and it was so gritty and so gruesome and dark and keeps you on the edge of your seat, and just amazing on almost every level. And I think for all of the movies that I have seen for Jason Statham, this is one of the best, if not the best performance that I have seen at all times. You know, especially after his latest movie, The Meg, which wasn't very good for his level. I mean, to be honest, it was basically a shark movie with Jason Statham thrown at it just to kind of, I don't know, make more money out of it, or just to make it look cooler. But I would say if that was the reason, yeah, they might have succeeded to some extent. The movie was good basically because it had Jason Statham in it. But for a movie that I think meets Jason Statham's level and style, this is the best of all of the ones that I've seen for him. And that's why I said he's back with a vengeance. Because it's not just that the story is about vengeance, but because of him coming back so powerfully and so strongly in this new role, that just makes it all the way better. So the sequence of events was just splendid. It was so fantastic and so simple, and the way they connected the past period and the present to try to connect the story and show the motives of the characters and reveal a little bit of their backstory. I mean, I think the only backstory that we saw was just for H's character. It was only just about his relationship with his son and a little bit about the kind of work that he used to do. But even to show the motive in that kind of sequence, it was very straightforward, very simple, understandable. There is no complication to it whatsoever. Unlike a lot of the movies that I've seen before, which they try so much to kind of present a backstory of the characters or the motives of the characters, and they keep jumping between the past and the present so fast and so much to the point that you lose the track of the story, or you don't know what the plot is about anymore, or whether the events that are happening in a particular scene are in the right timeline, or is it in the past or in the future or the present. You just end up confused with the movie altogether. But this one was very simple. It was very straightforward, as I said, and the way they just followed up with the story until they revealed the motive of H's character was just done beautifully. It was so powerful, and it makes you just root for the character and eventually be satisfied with the end when he eventually gets what he wants. And the movie didn't feel slow at all. It felt more like each scene was given its proper time for the viewer to understand and at the same time feel completely what's going on in the events in that scene. Also, the soundtracks were really good, very dramatic, and they would keep your heart pumping throughout the stronger scenes in the whole film. And I also liked seeing some of the characters there as well, like Holt McCallany, whom I mostly remember from Netflix's Mindhunter series. He was amazing, and in this movie he was very convincing, and I didn't even see it coming when he revealed that he was the inside man for the group of soldiers who were responsible for killing H's son. And he did his part so good in this. Also, Diobia Opare, he played a bad guy this time. I saw him in 2005's Doom. He played alongside The Rock, and also in Independence Day Resurgence. Both of them he played a good guy, but in this one I think it's the first time that I see him playing a bad guy. But he did his part beautifully as well, along with Laz Alonso, who I have seen him in so many films and series, but he's mostly popularly known in his role as Mother's Milk in Amazon's The Boys. He also has a strong voice and presence too in this one. The only thing that I felt a little bit off with in this movie was the villain, or the main bad guy that H was going after, or the one who killed H's son, Jan. He was played by Scott Eastwood, and for me, I don't know, he wasn't very convincing as a strong villain, especially in this type of movie. I get that they did some makeup for him to make him look a little bit more sinister, but he just didn't cut it for me. He seemed a little bit weaker compared to if they had put someone else, like for example, the first name that comes to mind would be Benicio del Toro. He would have been the perfect cast, because he's this kind of versatile actor that you can put him in a protagonist role and he would nail it. Put him as an antagonist and he would still nail the role. He would have been, I don't know, maybe not necessarily the character of Jan, but maybe someone like the guy from Den of Thieves who played the head of the criminals. I forgot his name, but he would have been a perfect cast for this one as well. Benicio del Toro could have played, I think, the head of the group of soldiers, or the Sarge, I think that was his character. But yeah, if he was in that role, that movie would have been much stronger. I mean, I'm not saying that Scott Eastwood was very bad, he was still good, but in my opinion wasn't as good as if another character would have been casted there. I was thinking a different character that fits this kind of style of films. Also, in a movie like this, I loved seeing Andy Garcia. He would obviously be expected in these types of action drama movies, but I didn't really understand his role completely. I mean, I get that he was helping H. I felt that he was using H to do his dirty work, so in a sense that Andy Garcia was also after those villains, but his best option was to allow H and kind of help him do the dirty work for him. Obviously H has his motive, so that would be the perfect opportunity for Andy Garcia. In one scene we see him talking to two of his FBI agents, and they were saying that they found H and he's the one that they've been looking for 25 years. But then Andy Garcia goes, don't chase him, let the painter paint, basically. So he knows what H is after, but then in the final scene, after H kills Jan and then goes down the elevator, walks outside and then sees Andy Garcia, or Andy Garcia appears from the shadows in there and then walks into the elevator again and goes up. I didn't really understand or get his motive here completely. I mean, was he just after these criminals as well, or was he after the money also, or did he have a different motive that maybe I might have missed during the movie? But if any of you guys can elaborate on this and explain it so we can understand the movie better, please drop it in the comments below. Other than that, the movie was spectacular, was amazing. Everything was just done beautifully, and I would definitely give this one 4 out of 5. Obviously being the best performance that I have seen for Jason Statham so far, and I think one of the best movies for Guy Ritchie that I have seen as well. And last but not least, I wanted to mention was that I really regretted seeing the trailer for this, because it actually ruined a lot of the movie for me. Basically the main plot of it, because as I mentioned, the premise of it was really good, and if you haven't seen the trailer and just saw the movie, you would enjoy the full experience. But the trailer actually revealed the whole plot of the movie. But still, I would say it was a great experience. I still enjoyed it fully, and yeah, I'd say just be careful next time when you're watching a trailer. I don't know, sometimes it can get tricky because you obviously have to see a trailer of a movie to know if it's going to be that good or not. But I think I would just have to stay pretty cautious about what the trailers reveal, and if I feel that the trailer is giving away too much, I'm going to cut it off and just go and watch the movie straight away. And so this was my review for Wrath of Man, the movie that is full of wrath. And yeah, I would really like to see what you guys thought about it, if you liked it or you didn't like it, if there were some more aspects that I didn't mention and you wanted to talk about, or if you wanted to discuss some of the points that I mentioned in this one, please drop it in the comments below. I would very much love to hear your views on this. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and until I see you guys in the next video, y'all have a good day and peace out.